I actually prefer not to do that because it takes a lot of my, you don't want me to fall through the wall? Yeah. Okay. It takes a lot of my balance away. I have to like awkwardly lift my foot, put it in the hip. In that motion, he might tackle me, he might foot sweep me, or he might just throw my leg past as I sit. And then I'm going to be screwed. And all of my lapel work was for nothing. So, I actually pull in a very passive manner to ensure that I can get my feet to the right way. I'll post on him just to make sure that I know he's not going to shoot on me. Right? So I need to have a little bit of control here so I know he just doesn't shoot on my legs. I retreat a little, and I sit to my butt. As I sit, I'm falling away in anticipation of his movement coming towards me, right? If I fall straight to my back, if I pull guard like this, and I go straight to my back, he may already start engaging on me before I can get my legs into position to block. So this is a very small detail, but it's very important if you're pulling guard with the lapel. I sit and continue creating space, moving away from him to compensate for his forward movement so I can get my feet into position before he can get any offensive attack. So that's just another way to add a little bit of control into your pull. So you don't find yourself free falling through midair with him aggressively passing your guard. Another option we have to get the lapel from standing is a lapel lasso from standing. So this one I actually do the traditional style where I put my foot up. But as I put my foot up, I pass the lapel under my leg. So I'm going to pull and pass the lapel under my leg as I pull. So this eliminates the problem of him throwing my leg to one side or the other because I effectively get my lapel control before I even hit the ground. Okay? So a lot of the options where someone can knee tap you or take you down or throw your leg to one side or the other are eliminated if you can do it fast enough. So I'm here. I'll still post on him just to make sure I have a little bit of control and I can feel him if he's making any jerky movements to take me down or do a foot sweep or something. I lift my leg up. I fall to the same side. And as I fall, I'm pushing the lapel under my leg and then switching it. Grab the pants, grab the collar, grab the leg, and then from here or from one of the other intermediary positions, we'll be entering into our lapel guards. So now let's say we find ourselves in a position where we're either already on our back or we were taken down without having lapel control, or maybe we had the lapel control, but he ripped it from our hands, and now we're on our back playing normal guards without a lapel grip, and it's stuck in his gi still. So how do I get the lapel from here? Because we run into the same problem where if I just start reaching for it like this, I don't really have any real guard control, and as I'm doing this, he could do anything to me, and by the time I actually get the lapel out, I could already have my guard passed. So you need to open the lapel from positions where you actually still have control. So this is why it's important to know or learn some traditional jiu-jitsu guards to fill in these blank spots. So let's start with like the most common open guard, which would be De La Riva. I'm going to grab the pants, the De La Riva. I have my De La Riva hook here like this, and maybe I have the sleeve or the collar here. I usually probably go with the sleeve just because I'm a longer guy, but if you're a little shorter, these guys prefer collar grips. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to imitate that tiger swipe I did earlier. I'm just going to use my foot this time because I want to have strong control over him. And if you look, my foot's really not doing anything here. It's not super important as part of the control. It's just on his hip to keep him away from me a little bit. So all I'm going to do is use that to keep him away from me. And then look, I just see how there's a little opening here in his collar. Lift your head, Miha, so they can see. There's a little opening. All I'm going to do is put my toes inside of it, and I'm going to kick it out. See that? Look how much slack I've opened up in the lapel. From here, as I kick it out, I just use my foot. I can kind of hook it back to me, or you can just let it fall and then get your grip. I maintain my grips on the pants or whatever other guard I was playing. You may even have had lasso. It all applies. And then I would either go to my own lapel lasso or put my feet on the biceps and go to this intermediary position. Okay? So another example, go ahead and tuck it back in. Let's just, for the sake of demonstration, we'll do it from spider guard now. The exact same thing applies. Create a little space, free my foot, put my toes inside, and kick it out. Once it's there, I just grab the lapel. As simple as that. Go to foot on the bicep, go to lasso, or go to the foot under grip position as a point of control. Okay? If he's on his knees, it's not as important because when someone is passing on their knees, they don't have any lateral agility. So if he goes on his knees...
Because they're over 40, so they have no agility.
Right. So they're on their knees. Chances are they're a big guy because they're passing on their knees. In this position, you can play whatever you want. You just literally grab the lapel and open it. It's the easiest thing to do. The downside is that it's pretty hard to set up a lot of worm guard positions on people with their knees down. The plus side is that putting your both knees on the mat leaves you open for triangles and armors and omoplatas. So in general, it's not a good idea to pass on your knees. So some people, when they're playing against someone they know is a lapel guard user, they'll purposely pass on their knees. In which case, it's a good idea to get very good at closed guard. And that's why the closed guard, gubber guard system is really strong, because it counters people who put both their knees on the mat, trying to avoid worm guard, reverse delta worm guard, squid guard, things like that. So that's why the gubber guard system is super strong, which we'll get into later on. So yeah, that's how you open up a lapel. One thing to note is everything I'm saying also applies to the belt. Maybe that's a topic for another discussion, but literally every worm guard, squid guard position, with the exception of gubber guard, can be played on a belt grip as well. Same concepts apply of feet on both sides, lassoed, and under. A good example of this is my match with Sanji Hibero. I played a lot of this because he hit his lapels really well. Literally every position that you do can also be done with the belt. So if you want to get crazy, you can also use the belt. Or say they tie their belt so tight that you can't pull the lapel out. You can just use the belt. Some guys that I've taught worm guard to are actually better at it with the belt grip. Like Andres, for instance, has done a lot with the belt worm. And Lucas Barbosa as well, one of my teammates who picks up a little bit of this stuff, uses the belt as well. So you can be a little creative and use the belt. The downside is the belts come off sometimes. So if you're gripping it and it comes untied, then you're stuck with a limp belt in your hand. So that's something to think about. So those are the few ways you can get lapel control. And we talked about how to use that lapel to maintain control while you're setting up your positions, which we're finally now going to show you how to get into the first fundamental lapel guard position.